Okay, looks like we're live. Hello and welcome to the 741 channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to take another look at this Cobra 148 CB radio. For those of you who didn't see the previous video on this, I tried to do a live stream, was it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago? I don't remember. Either way, a friend of mine dropped this off here for me to look at. And what we found was that the stock microphone would key the radio up, but we weren't getting any audio out of it. Now I had put another microphone that I have on the radio and proved that it worked. So everything seems to be okay with the radio. So I'm not sure, I haven't really been able to fully test this. I did a quick multimeter check with it here and found that the wires and everything seem to be good. Everything seems to be working. Now we could have an issue with the switch, I suppose, but either way, what I've done, or what's happened here, is I've gone to a ham radio flea market today, and I came into possession of this microphone at the Ham Radio Fest. I picked this up for $1. So we're going to try it on this radio now and see if it works. And then I can put this in the stash and maybe try and fix it at some point. But my suspicion is that with this microphone, the element is just kaput. Excuse me. So give me a minute here. I want to get the live stream up over on the laptop in case anybody comes in to the chat window. Okay, so I got that going there. So I'm going to get this out of the way, and let's first of all just plug this in the radio and see what happens. Now I've already done this, full disclosure here, so I can tell you what's going to happen, but I think I'll just show you. I'm going to prop the radio up on that pencil there just so we can hear the speaker on it a little bit too. So let's plug this in. And right away, you should be able to hear that we're now getting the audio. So this microphone does activate the speaker, but when we key it up, we're not getting anything. So it's not wired quite right for this radio, or at least that's my suspicion. So let's see if we can get it wired up. So we're going to just take the plug off here, and we're going to remove the screws. We'll pull this down so we can see the wiring in there. And then we'll compare it to the original and see if we can figure out the differences here. So let me get a little screwdriver. And let's see what we can do here. So these are just typically held on with two screws at the back. There's like a little clamp around the wire as a strain relief. And then inside of here, there's a small little screw that goes into the plastic that really holds it together and keeps it from rotating. So we'll get that out. And now we'll set these guys aside. I usually keep an Altoids tin around for stuff like this, but we'll just put it over there for now. And then, of course, this has probably never been apart. At least I don't think it has been, so we might have to pry on it a little bit. And then there's the clamp part of the strain relief. We'll put that over here too with the other hardware. And then now these usually just come apart. There's usually like a quarter twist or a half twist or something like that, and they just kind of wiggle apart. Now you can see that this little plastic filler piece came off too. I don't know if there's another one here that I missed, or maybe it's stuck somewhere else. Maybe you guys saw it fall and I didn't. Either way, we've got the mic plug exposed now, so there's all the wiring that we have. Now this one's a little bit interesting in so much as we've got two black wires there. Usually the wires here are all different colors. Usually there's a white one, which is the main, what I'll call the audio wire that goes to the mic element. Then there's usually a shield, because the white wire is usually sort of coaxial and the shield is wrapped around the outside of the white wire, and that's what provides the audio. And then there's usually a black and a red to activate the push to talk switch, but in this case we've got two blacks. So let's take a look and compare what we have to the factory one and see if we can figure it out. Let's see. Okay, so on the factory one, I don't know how well you guys can see this in this camera, but we've got a blue wire, and we've got what looks like a yellow wire, but that's the shield wire. It's just got a yellow piece of insulation around it. And then we have the white wire and the red wire. So presumably the red and the blue are the push to talk, and then the white and the shield are the audio. So the way I like to look at this is the microphone has a keying slot on it, and I'm going to hold that with that up and looking towards the back of the connector, or as it would plug into the radio. And so on the left side of the keying slot we have the shield here and the white wire here, and on the factory one we have a white wire and a black wire. And then on the other side we have the blue wire and the red wire, and then this one here we have the shield and the other black wire. So I think what I'll do, just for the sake of experimentation here, to see if we can get it to work, is I'll switch this shield wire out right here and switch it with this black wire. We'll reverse those two connections and see if that will make things work. So what we'll do is move this out of the way, and then I'll fire up the soldering station over here. Probably could have done that ahead of time, I suppose. I'll try not to short anything out over here with this rat's nest of wires, or lose any other hardware. Grab this here. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can adjust this camera a little bit while we wait for the soldering iron to heat up there. That's probably a little bit better. Okay, so you can see over there, maybe you can see it, I don't know. It's heating up pretty fast. This is a nice little station. It's Chinese junk, but it seems to work okay for my needs. So let's see. I'm going to also bring out this guy to help us kind of hold everything. There we go. So we should be able to work on it like that, I guess. Now the other thing that I'll do is I've got this little tube of flux here. I'm going to put just a little flux on there just to help things melt quicker. We're going to hit that guy, and we're going to hit this guy. There we go. Now let's see. Oh, if memory serves me, I had this iron cranked up to a high temperature earlier. Let me see if it gets up above 700. Yep, we're going to need to set this down a bit. That's better. Okay. Alright, so now we'll just desolder the shield wire first. There we go. That's in there good. Come on out of there. There we go. So now we'll take care of this other black wire. See if we can do this without melting anything. There we go. Alright, so let's just get these rearranged. so I think we're good shape there. Before I get too much further, I think what I'm going to do is take just a small piece of shrink tubing and put it over that shield wire, kind of like the factory Cobra one was, just to prevent any shorting. Not that there was an issue, presumably, with it the way it was, but while we're here, I don't think it'll hurt. So we'll get this on there. Might be a little too long. Yeah, we'll cut that in half. Okay, that should be good. We'll leave that off of there for now. I'm going to solder the black one first. Okay, probably would help if we grabbed a little bit of solder here. I'll use the fine stuff. And let's see what we get here. Okay, that ought to do. I'm not the world's best solderer, but I'm not the worst either, so I think that'll do. And now we'll turn this around. We'll get this oriented. Where's my little piece of tubing here? Might even have to cut this a little bit more. Nah, that's good. And let's do this. This might burn my finger a little bit this way, but wouldn't be the first time and it won't be the last. That's good. I'm actually going to add a little solder to the tip of the iron here and get that to flow in there. Just a little bit of new solder. That wire did take. Okay, should be good. And now, well, I guess we could have made that little piece of shrink tubing longer, but I'm going to get it down here over the wire and just use the soldering iron to kind of shrink it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, and in fact it's probably a little too big for that, but that's the smallest piece I had. Forget to see if they had any more at that ham fest I went to today, but I have a feeling they didn't. It was kind of a small one, but a good one. Okay. So let's set this aside for a moment. I won't shut it off just yet in case we need it. So let that cool down a bit. Now before I put the hardware back on, I guess we'll just test this and see what we end up with. Now for reference, I've got my meter here and it's set to the lowest scale, which is fine for this, and I've got a little dummy load on here as well. So we should be good to go. We should be safe. Let me just make sure. Yep, we're in there. So let's test it out. Okay, so now, now we don't have any audio coming through the speaker. But let's see if it'll key up. Okay, now we're getting a key up, but some squeal. Nope, listen to that. Okay, so we got, well, we made it worse, but let's see. So, but anyway, what we've got now, let me just go back here and compare. Oh, okay, well, that would be why. I need to reverse the white in the shield based on what's here. I guess I didn't look close enough at that. Sometimes doing these live streams is a little bit of a tricky thing in itself, and you kind of forget what you're doing because you're focusing on the camera too much. Well, anyway, let's try that. Let's reverse those two and see if that straightens things out a bit. Yeah, the shield should be on top and the white wire should be on bottom. So that would be the shield is pin 1 and the white wire should be pin 2. Let's give that a shot. Okay. And I'm going to just hit a little flux on that white wire again, just so it goes a little quicker for us. Probably don't really need it, but okay. This guy doesn't want to separate. There we go. Okay, so now let's get that shield wire off of there again. Oh, almost had him. Okay, good. So now while we're here, I think I can just spin this and we'll put the shield wire on the other pin. I'll get it tacked in. We need a little solder here. Okay, so we'll do it this way. We'll let the solder flow from the iron into the wire and the pin. That should be good enough. Of course, we're getting a little solder tip there. Don't want to be on there too much with the heat. I can always clip that if I have to. Okay, that looks like it's fine. So now this one here is a little tricky. We got a little bit of a blob of solder there on there. Now we're starting to make a little bit of a mess here, so I might need to clean that up, but let's see what happens. There we go. I'm not going to add any solder to this one because there's already enough there. Okay, that looks all right. Let's let that cool for a second and then see what happens. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's give this a try. Hopefully it'll work this time. Get that lined up right. Now again, we have no audio. And when I key it up, hello, when I key it up, it's passing the audio, and when I unkey it, it's just dead. So anyway, let's take a look at this situation again. Did I screw something up? No, we've got the shield in this correct spot now, and we've got the white wire on the bottom. Now, presumably those are the audio and shield wires and not something else on this microphone. So now, I guess the only thing else that we can try is to reverse these two black wires on the other side and see if that makes a difference. Well, like I said, most mics, those would be a different color from each other, but you know, General Electric, I guess, had a better idea. They were probably saving money on wire. But whichever, we'll see if we can get this going here. Okay, so we'll do pretty much the same thing we did last time, except I am going to hit that last one with a little flux. Now, it's always the case, the last combination, well, hopefully this will work, we'll see. Of course, I have no idea if this microphone's any good either. I got, you know, a $1 microphone. At a ham fest, you don't know what you're getting, but Even if the microphone is no good, this mic connector is probably worth $1 unless I wreck it here, but okay, so now the important thing here is we don't want to lose track of these two black wires and then end up putting them back in the same positions they were in. So I'll keep my fingers on this one that I just unsoldered. We'll get it at least tacked here, if not soldered. Let's get that flowing a little better. That should be okay. And then let's get this guy in here. Now this pin is a little starved for solder, oddly enough, so let's get a little on there. There we go. Well, again, we're a little tight on here. Whoops, that didn't take. Yeah, this pin's a little weird. See if I can get that in there. Trying to get that to just set before I burn my finger. And then I can add a little more solder here to the iron. Probably should have cleaned that off. And then let's see if we can get that to wet on there a little bit better. That should be good. There's actually a little too much now. But we're not trying to win any prizes here. We're just trying to get this working. Okay. So yeah, you can see these wires have had a little heat in them now. Alright. Let's get that out of the way. Let's hope this works this time. Oh, still no audio. Yep, still doing the same thing. Well, go figure. What are we doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? Let's see. So we've got the white. I reversed the shield in the other one. No, I didn't. Okay. No, the shield is where it was. And we've got the two black wires on that side. Yeah, I don't know what else to do here. I don't know what else to do with this thing. I think that's it, really. It should work. Now, if we put the stock mic back in, with it wired up just the way that it is, you can hear it activates the audio, and I can key it, but we're not getting any audio out of it. So, we know that's wired okay, but this is just not cooperating anymore. Alright, well, maybe that means that that shield wire is not what we think it is. Well, I guess we can just keep trying combinations here and see if we can get it to work. So if this was there, now I'm losing track of what I did. Well, I'll just try another combo here and see what happens. Let's see what's going on over here. Not too much. Alright, now I'm reasonably certain the white wire should be where it is. Unless Unless the white wire on this is not the audio wire. No, I believe it is. I'm trying to look at this here. That's the shield that goes to there. And it looks like it's wrapped around the white wire. Yeah. So I don't have any reason to believe this one would be different. Whoops, I looked at the wrong thing again. Alright, well, maybe the white wire isn't the audio wire on this one. No, I think it is too. I suppose we could take this apart and look. Well, let's try another combo. I'm going to switch the shield wire again. Which pin on this one? Yeah. We'll just try that. Let's go on here. There we go. Okay, so we'll take the shield. Oh, there's my little insulator. And I don't know, let's swap it with this one. We'll try this. Yeah, this would have been easier if the wires were colored right. Okay, let's try that one. Well, we got audio that time. So that's a good sign. Well, we got it keying up again, but now we got some squealing going on. Hello? Yeah, that's something's not right there, obviously. But we've got audio going through the radio. So, what's our last combination that we can try? I guess we could switch. We can leave this wire above the audio wire and switch the shield in this other wire. If that doesn't work, I think I'm just going to give up on this. And probably should try and look at a schematic and figure it out that way, but let's try that. Oh, John Deere's in there. He's smoking. Yeah. I didn't let any smoke out of this thing yet. I'm surprised I haven't. Let's try this. Come on, get off of there. I'm just making a mess of this mic connector now, because we're trying too many combinations here. Okay. Try this. Yeah, my friend dropped this radio off a couple of weeks ago, and wait a minute, that's... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm telling you. I don't think this live stream stuff is the way to go. I don't know why I keep doing it. Boredom. think when summertime comes, I'll be occupied more. Alright, let's get this guy out of here. And let's put him here. Alright, now we've just got too much solder on this. Might have to get the wick out. Actually, this pin doesn't look right. Worked to Easter Island. Wow, hey, that's cool. That's not something you do every day. Not only, you know, especially with the band conditions the way they are. That's pretty cool. You'll have to get a card for that one. I'm trying to think what my furthest contact would be. I don't really get on the air that much. Well, I've been doing a lot of 2 meters lately with a guy that lives in town. He's in an apartment, and I talked to him. But let's see, probably South Africa would be the furthest I've gotten. I have to admit that I don't keep a good log, so I don't know. Oh, the German DXpedition. Okay. I don't keep up on the DX and stuff like some people do, and I don't keep a good log. But I do chase soda sometimes. That's summits on the air stations. And I do log those. And I've gotten several European stations. Not recently, because I haven't been doing it recently, but I've gotten plenty of European stations, low power, you know, mountaintop stuff. And that's kind of fun. But I haven't done a whole lot of DX, not lately anyway. Let's see. Somebody actually sent me a couple of QSL cards recently from Germany. It was a Summits on the Air station that I worked. Yeah, I don't like this. This is getting kind of messed up because I'm soldering too much here on this. And I think I got a short there now. Yeah, I got a short there now. Whoops. There we go. I think it might be time to start over, but I don't want to lose track of which wire is which. And I don't know why they put... Well, now there you go. I stripped that off, and that one's yellow. It's not black like I thought it was. It's got double insulation on it. Now, this is not working out quite the way that I thought it might. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. This wire is not real good. Probably should have got the proper strippers on it, but it's the way things go. Let me tin that wire. 91 countries unconfirmed. Well, that happens. I know sometimes it takes a while for the cards and stuff. Do you use Logbook of the World or any of that sort of thing to keep track of stuff? I know there's some people in my club that are doing that. Not a lot of them do it, but some of them do it. And they're chasing that stuff. In fact, one lady just got her DXCC, I think. So that's pretty cool. But a lot of us in my club are just rag chewers, casual operators. We get on 80 meters. Well, they get on 80 meters almost every night. I get on maybe once a week if I'm lucky. And 6 meters. We do a fair amount on 6 as well. But DX is fun. I don't have the patience for logging. I kind of do computer work during the day, you know, my day job. And if I'm going to play radio, I'm going to play radio. I don't want to look at the computer. I know you can set up logging programs and it makes it pretty seamless and stuff, but I just don't have the patience after sitting in front of a computer all day. Let's see. Nah, that didn't work either. Now we're back worse off than we were before. Alright, well, I don't know if I should try any more combinations or start over now that I have a yellow wire. But I don't know if the yellow... Well, no, we don't have a yellow on this one. We have a red and a blue. So what are we looking at here? Maybe I should just start this over. You don't send bucks to the bureau either. I'm not worried about confirm. I know what I've worked, and that's fine for me. You know, I kind of feel the same way. That's one of the reasons I don't log it, but at the same time, I can't prove it, and sometimes I don't even remember. Like I was telling you, I can't remember where my furthest contact is. So it is good to log it, just like you said, for your own edification, so you know kind of what you've done. Not so much worried about the paper. Let's see. Yeah, I could do that. Well, here's the thing. Let's, I think I'm going to start over with this, maybe. Because this is getting kind of screwed up because I keep soldering it too much. But, see, I really think the shield wire should be over here. And maybe I should just do that one more time. Swap those guys out and see if that works. Let's see. Yeah, this is getting screwy. Now, let's see. Well, I had good intentions, but let's see here. Let's try that. Let's see if we can get this on here. All right. Yeah, these poor wires have had too much heat in them at this point. All right. Let's see. How about, oh, can you get into the Mount Washington repeater? I don't think I can. I don't know if I've tried it from here. What's the frequency of it? And the PL? I would be willing to bet there's a local repeater on the same frequency that would cover it up, but we'd have a different PL. Yeah, see, that's not working out. All right, what we probably ought to do, I guess, is start over. Let's cut this baby off. Well, we can try and meter this out, I guess, and see what is going on. So if we get, well, we don't have any shorts in here, do we? No. We just got some messed up wires. So let's try this. So I got the what I call the white and the shield, which should be the mic element, and we're getting 410 k ohm without the PTT. Let's say you can't get it from the house, but mobile, but I can. Oh, okay. Now, what part of Maine are you in? Just roughly, I guess. Are you somewhat near that area? Okay, so now we got the other wires here. Those are the push-to-talk wires. Because when we key those up, they short. North of Camden. I'm not familiar with Camden. I know where Rumford is. I have a friend that has a place near Rumford. In that part. And I know Rumford's sort of on the New Hampshire side. But where's Camden? Is that on the coast? I should know Maine better. I have a cousin that lives somewhere up there too. Let's see. Right on the east mid coast. Okay. I think that's where my cousin lives. I can't remember the name of the town she lives in. I want to say it's Rockport, but I don't think so. It might be near there. Either way. Okay, so we're getting an open there, which is what I would expect if the mic element's bad. And then on this side, we've got that. And we're not getting key up there. Okay, so wait a minute, what am I looking at here? Okay, so that's what I think is the push to talk, and there's the shield. So those short together. So if that's the case, then if that's yellow and that's black, then I guess we could try swapping the shield in that one more time. If this one is set up so that when we do the push to talk, we'll do it that way. Well, we'll give it a try. Rockport is next to Camden. Okay, so she must live near you. So you're down on the coast. I'm trying to think. Gosh, can you hit? You probably can't hit it from there. It's probably too far away. You can't hit the Deerfield, New Hampshire repeater, can you? I think it's in Deerfield, right? And actually, do you go to Nearfest? Because I'll be going to that. A bunch of guys will be going from here. All right, so didn't I just do that though? Hold on, let's check one more thing here. Ah, okay. So, oh no, that's shorted now. Oh, you know what? We've got an incompatibility in the way this mic is wired. Let's see. No, you can't. My buddy WZ1J works from Brunswick. But I can't. You don't do Deerfest. Okay. Yeah, we'll be going. There's a bunch of us that go. I haven't gone in a while, but I like that show. I'm kind of partial to it because a number of years ago I won the door prize from there. I got the Elecraft K3, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, we've been going up on and off for years. But yeah, you know what? I think part of the problem here is that the factory mic is wired up such that it shorts to ground, and that's what activates the speaker when you plug it in. So right off the bat, you've got two pins shorted together. And I don't think we have that over here. And I think that's the issue. I think that's what we're dealing with. So that was a good suggestion. I should have done that. Metered it out in the first place. There, like was suggested. So I think that's what we're dealing with here. We're not going to get this wired up right without making some modifications. So the next thing that I was thinking about trying, and actually what I was going to try from the get-go, was to try and swap the mic element out and put it on here, because I think that's what's bad on this other microphone. Oh, so there's Hunter. How you doing there, Hunter? Welcome. Here I'm just making a mess of some old CB equipment here. This is an old radio that a friend dropped off, and we've got some microphone issues with it. I haven't been able to get it going. I don't know that I completely know what I'm doing here, obviously, but what I really think is the problem is this mic element. I went to a ham fest today, and I picked up another microphone for $1, and we were trying to wire it up. But I think I've come to the conclusion that internally it's wired different than this one. So it's not going to work with the radio the way that it's wired. So I think we're going to have to go in and take it apart. Unfortunately, it's kind of a nice mic. But I need another screwdriver here. Pardon me while I block the view. Let's see. You have an interesting RF attenuator that you want to use, but I don't know how to make it work. Well, what do you mean by that? Is it just a like a resistor basically that you put in line, or what? What's it for? Is it a separate box or something? Almost should be able to do these live streams two-way so that you can show it to me. What do you got? Oh. Let's see. It's a box with 10 switches on it, and it goes up 10, well, I guess 10 dB attenuation. I want to use it for direction finding. Yeah, that's the perfect thing to use. Years ago, I actually built one of those myself out of some resistors and a project box and stuff that I had, and I don't remember how many elements I had on it, but that's what I used it for, was direction finding, and it worked well. So that's a good little piece to have. Basically, you just want to put it in line with your antenna, and of course you don't want to transmit through it or anything like that. You want to use it just for receiving, and basically you want to have all the switches out so there's no attenuation when you start off, and when you start getting close and you get the strong signal and you can no longer turn your antenna and see a difference on your meter, that's when you start putting the attenuation in, so that then you can, as you turn your antenna, you can see the meter move, and you can kind of hone in on the strongest part of the signal. So you got it from your friend's house. He soldered a BNC connector to the in port. Okay, well, you can probably use it with a BNC jumper cable to an HT or something like that. So let's see. Maybe we can do some work here. It's a little hard for me to think under the gun here with this live stream going, but maybe we can modify the switch to make it work. So if we look at the way this is wired, we get the one side of the mic element goes direct to the mic element, and that's what we have here. And then we have the other side on this one goes to the shield, but on this one it goes through the switch and gets switched. So I suppose I could try to get fancy with it and do that, but I don't know exactly how that works. Let's see. You need to get a DF antenna for it. Make one. They're pretty easy to make. A friend of mine, he's an older gentleman, but he lives in an apartment now, and he made himself, is it a 5-element? It's a 5-element 2-meter Yagi, and you know, he gets on with that. His wife lets him have it right in the couch cushions. He's got a mast that goes in between the back of the couch cushions, and he aims it out his window, and he uses it that way. He's got to be careful about radiation exposure, but other than that, it seems to work. The arrow antennas are nice too. I went on a fox hunt on New Year's Day, and a lot of the guys had those rigged up on their cars, and those work well. You know, especially if you're driving around at speed, it seemed like a pretty good antenna. You can just unscrew it and put it in your trunk. But just to fool around, there's no harm in making one. Let's see. This isn't going to work. Those are too big. Let's see what I got here for clip leads. Now, what was I doing again? Oh, okay. We're going to try and see how this works. I'm just trying to probe this out and see how this is switched. Because maybe instead of switching the mic elements, we'll just try and rewire the switch to make it act like this one. But I don't know if that's too ambitious for me tonight or not, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so when I key that up, that shorts those 2 pins, I guess. Let's see, you can do stuff with your Eton E5 that you picked up from the Hamfest. Oh yeah, that's right. I think you put up a video about that, didn't you, your E5? That looked like a nice little unit. Now, but you said that only goes up to 10 meters? Let's see, what am I trying to do here? Yeah, that might be too ambitious for tonight. So it looks like the way this is put together, this mic element will just unsolder cleanly from here, and I can solder it back on if I need to. Now this one, like I said, I suspect that it's got a problem, and that's why we're not getting any audio out of it. But that might not be the case either. So I'm a little afraid to cut this one out of here because I'm just not completely convinced it's bad. I gotta look one more time at this, because the last time I looked at this, what had happened, and maybe I didn't mention it before, is when my friend brought this radio to me, it looked like it had been dropped on the mic connector, and there was a wire that was broken in here, and I resoldered it, and it turned the speaker back on, which is great, but it keys it up, but we get no audio. So, you know, that's why I'm suspecting this is bad. But when I probe it, I'm getting sort of a correct resistance on it. So, like I say, I'm not convinced it's bad. But anyway, I'll clip this in such a way that I can put it back together if I want to. Let's see. Now you have another. Okay, we can do a shortwave hangout. You know, I mean, I don't know if I really feel like I'm doing anything with these live streams anyway. They seem kind of weird to me, especially just sitting around tuning on the radio. But maybe it'd be more entertaining with both of us doing something together like that. Maybe we can even, I don't know if you have the ability to live stream, but maybe we can kind of do it together online. I don't know. I tried that with somebody else. Well, I didn't try it with him yet, but I tried setting my system up so I could do it, and I just can't get things to work here. I seem to only be able to stream successfully through my cell phone. If I try and use a webcam on the computers that I have, it just dogs out, and I get audio issues or lag issues or other issues. So I haven't been able to do that. But alright, we're going to take the plunge here and cut this. I probably shouldn't have cut that so short right there on this side, but we'll make it work, as they say. So I'll try and carefully strip these wires. I should go get my wire strippers, but I think they're in the garage. This is some really tiny little wire here. Oh yeah, my 2-meter radio is on in the background. So you got that radio at the Marlboro. Oh wait a minute, I missed. You said 30. Yeah, 30 megahertz. So you got that radio at the Marlboro Hamfest, right? A couple of my friends were up there. Well, let me tell you, I'm about ready to put this thing in the round file, but my ignorance of the subject matter here is, you know, I guess I want to try and figure out what's going on. I could just give this back to my buddy and say, here, get another mic. Because I know another mic will work on this, but we're not going to do that if we don't. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to fit in this microphone, is it? Oh, maybe I can take this off. Is this going to fit in here? Oh, yeah, it fits. Well, we got no way to hold it down now. Because we got this stupid thing that goes around it. It's much fatter than the old one. So now we're going to have to get creative with screws and hardware and stuff. Oh no, that may work. Might just need some longer screws. Can we get the back on it? Let's just check this out before we go too far down the rat hole here. Oh boy. Just try and get this in some semblance of. Well, luckily this is a fat mic. I think that will work. Maybe. If we take that metal piece off, I think that will work. Alright. Okay, so what's Hunter saying here? Your attenuator says 1 dB, 2 dB, 3 dB, 5, 10, 20, 20, 20, totaling 101. Do I increase the attenuation as I get closer to your target? Yes. So the way it works is you start off, well, at least the Fox hunts I've been on anyway. You all start off in a central location, and the fox hides somewhere, obviously. You don't know where he is. So you all take a reading at the start point, and hopefully you can hear him from there. If not, you got to drive somewhere else and find him, or find a spot where you can hear him. But anyway, let's assume you can hear him right at the start point. So what you'll do is you'll set up right at the start point, you'll have your antenna, and you'll have a way to tell what direction it's pointing based on the compass. So usually the fox, if you're doing this in a controlled environment, the fox will transmit for a predetermined amount of time, usually a minute or two, and you'll spin your antenna around and try and get that first reading. Now hopefully you're far enough away from him so that as you spin the antenna, you'll see your signal meter change. It'll go down obviously when you're pointed away, and it'll go up when you're pointed towards him. So what happens is you'll get that original heading or bearing, and you'll start driving in that direction. And as you get closer, you'll try and stop, and you'll take another reading. And what'll happen is when you get too close, you'll turn your antenna, and you won't be able to see a difference on your signal meter. So that's when you start using the attenuation. And what I would do, I guess if I was trying it, is the 1 and the 2 dB, that's not really that much attenuation. That's That's a very small amount of attenuation that you might use in a lab setting or something like that. So I would flick on the 20s first. I'd start with 1, try and take the reading, and if I saw no difference in the signal, I'd flick on another 20, so on and so forth. Or what you could do is, you know where the signal is strong, flip on all the 20s. If you can't hear it, turn a couple off. The best thing to do really is just hook that up and experiment with it, before you get on a fox hunt or something, just in the yard or wherever, and see how it works. But that's pretty much the basics of it. What you're trying to do is you're trying to cut the signal down because it's so strong, because you're close to it, so you can still get a reading on your signal meter, so you can turn that antenna and find the fox. So is there too much attenuation? Well, the only way that you'd have too much attenuation is if you couldn't hear the signal anymore. And like I said, if you get to that point, you just turn off a switch until you can hear it, and then you should be good to go. Let's see, you bought one for my Sound Tracker 29, and it wasn't a lot of money. Yeah, they're not a lot of money, but the guy I'm dealing with, he doesn't have a lot of money to spend on this sort of stuff. At least I don't think. Well, this is for his... I don't think this is going to come off, actually. We're going to have to leave that metal piece on. I thought that was just a cover that slipped on, but that's part of the element. So let's just use it that way. Let's leave that piece of shrink tubing on there. And let's see, where are we at? Okay. Anyway, I'm just trying to save him a couple of bucks here. He's not in any hurry for the radio. It's actually not his. It's for his cousin. So we're just trying to help him out. But I think if this doesn't work, I think I'm going to give it back to him and tell him, go on Amazon and order one. In fact, there's a possibility he's even watching this right now, or we'll see it later when the live stream plays back. So there you go, Scott. That's the situation we're in here now. And if you are watching, Scott, or you do see this before I talk to you, I've soldered the antenna connector, so that's all ready to go. We just got to get the mic going for this thing. He did give, with the radio, I got an antenna. I think it's back there out of the shot. A Wilson 1000, but it had this weird connector on it that I've never seen before. So I don't know what whoever was using this thing before was doing with it, or maybe that antenna wasn't with this radio, but they were both found in an attic together. So I have to assume that they were used together. But anyway, I soldered a PL259 on for him the other day. So at least the antenna's good to go. Let's see. Thanks for the info. Yeah, no problem. Once I get your antenna built, my walks will be a lot more fun. Oh, okay. So you're going to use it walking. Well, actually, there's a group here in Connecticut, not far from me. Actually, the same group I did the fox hunt with. They do micro transmitter hunts. I haven't tried one of those yet, but they basically take and set up a little hidden transmitter somewhere. So say like in a cemetery or something like that. And of course they don't tell you where it is, but they give you a radius, it's in town or whatever type of thing, 5-mile radius. But the thing is putting out milliwatts. So it's hard to find. And sometimes walking is the only way you can find it. You have to be walking around with an HT and an attenuator. And you don't necessarily need a direction finding antenna once you get close like that. You can just use a little wire or quarter wave or whatever you got. Sometimes another trick that you can do that I've done in the past, I've done a fair amount of direction finding and transmitter hunting back in my 11-meter days, but that's a longer story. But anyway, what you can do is you can, when you get real close, you take your HT and you take the antenna off, and you use a paper clip or your finger or something like that. You know, if you're doing something like that, those micro transmitter hunts, where you're, say, in a cemetery and you're trying to find the fake gravestone or whatever that the transmitter is hidden in, that's another trick you can do. There's lots of different things, and of course, if you've looked into this stuff, I don't know if you've seen, but they even have Doppler kits that you can get. If you're really committed, those are expensive, and I think you have to have 4 antennas at a minimum on your vehicle. So, like, you need like an SUV or a van or something with a nice big roof, and you put the antennas up, and it somehow uses Doppler to figure out. But I think you have to be moving for that. But it uses Doppler, and there's a little LED ring on your dashboard, and it'll tell you which direction to go. You're trying to find some interference near your local fire station by the library. Okay, so what type of interference is it? Is it coming in on a VHF radio? I probably should put some shrink tubing on those. Well, more than just the one that had it. Is it coming in on the VHF radios, or what type of interference is it? Because sometimes you can use just a portable AM radio for that kind of a thing. Okay, so plugging that in still gives us audio. Now the moment of truth. If we key this up, are we going to get transmit audio? Hello, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Success. So we finally got something working here after making this big mess. Alright. And we had to destroy a good microphone to do it, but it was only $1, so I'm not too worried about it. So, before I stuff this thing back in there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go redneck on this one and put some black tape in there, if I can find it. Well, I got Kapton tape, but that won't stay over time. Let's see. I don't know where my black tape is. It might be outside. Let's see. Hold on a minute, guys. I got some mail here that belongs to somebody else, and I don't need that on camera. Where do you guys suppose I put my black tape? Let's see. What do you got here? Oh, it's on a few VHF frequencies. Sounds very choppy. Try the AM radio thing first. Sometimes you gotta destroy to create. Yeah, what's the saying? Sometimes, if you want to make an omelet, you gotta break some eggs. Alright, but before we break any eggs or make omelets, I gotta find my black tape. And it might be around here somewhere, so check it over here one more time. I have a feeling I used it. It's out in the garage. But I thought I had more. In fact, I know I have more. I know I have more. So where did I put it? It might be down here. Let's see. I had gotten... Yeah, it's back here. Where is it? I got tons of black tape one time at a ham fest. And this is good stuff. Oh wait, that's coax seal. Alright, I'm gonna have to move you guys back just a minute so I can open this drawer and see in here. Oh, maybe that... It's funny, the things you find when you're not looking for them. This is black tape, but it's big black tape. I didn't even know I had that in there. Look at that. Alright, we got coax seal too. I thought I had rolls of regular sized tape in here. Well, alright. I don't feel like going out to the garage right now, so this is what we're going to use. If this is even tape, I don't even know what it is. Now that I'm feeling it. No, I guess it is black tape. I don't need that anymore. Actually, we don't need the soldering iron anymore either, so let's get that guy tinned up. Always tin your tip when you're done. There we go. Look at this stuff. I didn't even know I had this. Look at how big this is. Well, it'll work okay. Oh, this isn't black tape. I don't even know what this is. Or it's coming apart. Well, maybe it's so old that the adhesive is sticking to the roll here. Or maybe this is something I don't know what it is. It's like... Alright guys, help me out here. What is this stuff? I think this is wrap. This isn't tape. This is some other kind of wrap. Well, maybe we can make it work. I got like 4 rolls of it in there, and I didn't even know I had it. Hold on, I gotta get some scissors over here. Where did I put those? Over here. Alright, who made off with my scissors? Nobody. There they are. Right where I thought they were, but behind a toy my son left down here. Alright, let's see if we can do something with this stuff. It's not sticky at all, but I don't know if that's by design or if it's just because it's old. Maybe this is that stuff that sticks to itself as you kind of wrap it around. I just want to prevent, yeah, this is the stuff that sticks to itself. Okay. Even though it's not sticky, it kind of forms a bond with itself. Alright, let me snip that guy. That's redneck, but it'll work. That'll work. Yeah, it's a lot of tape, or whatever it is. What this is for, I think, is for sealing up coax and stuff. Because I got a box of this stuff. I got coax seal here too, which, if you guys haven't seen this stuff, this is more like silly putty. You can kind of see it here, and you can use this stuff. You can put it on your coax connections outside and kind of knead it in, and it forms a waterproof seal. I got a bunch of that. This was in a box with this stuff and some electrical tape, and that's why when I reached in there I couldn't quite see, and I pulled these out. I thought these were rolls of electrical tape, but I guess not. It's just coax seal and this stuff, and I must have used all the tape that was in that box, because I know there was electrical tape in that box at one point in time. But the way it goes sometimes is you just accumulate stuff over the years, and if you don't use it, you don't remember you have it. And I guess that's a good problem to have. That's, what do they call that, a first world problem? And that's definitely what we have over here. Alright, so this is good enough. Let's see if we can get this back together. There's a little piece of foam in there that's seen better days, but we'll live with it. And now let's see if we can kind of get this in here without breaking any wires or pinching them too much. Now again, I think this element's a little bit fatter than the old one, so we may have to find some new screws to reach. Some longer screws. Play with this a little more here. I think, well, I can get the front of it in there. The only problem with this thing is it's all one integrated piece. Oh, that might be alright if I just line it up. let's see if we can get this lined up. It's just a little bit fiddly here. Let's see, I missed it. Dogs had to poop. Does it work? Yes, it does work. The element works. In fact, I can show you. Hello, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you guys can see the meter or not. I don't know how clear everything is in the screen for you guys. Looks like I bumped the camera. It got a little crooked there, but anyway, it works now. In fact, let's, before I break anything else, let's get that off of there. And now we're just trying to get this lined up. Let me see if I can get these screws to catch, the ones that are here. Because if I gotta go fishing for screws, that means I gotta go up to the garage, and that'll probably be the end of the live stream. But it looks like this is gonna be okay. Of course, we don't want to crank down on this too much. Just crack these plastic bosses that are in here. Not exactly the most robust design in the world. Now this back screw is not gonna catch with the two front ones. So I think we're probably gonna want longer screws. So what I'll probably do here then, let me just see if I can get this to catch. No. I don't want to break anything now that we've come this far. So, well, wait a minute. Maybe those were just in there too tight. Whoop, no. I think I can only get like a couple threads to catch. And with the push to talk switch on this thing, that's going to just break over time. So the best thing to do here is to just get some new longer screws on there. I probably have some around. I'm not sure what length those are, but you can see those are just self-tappers or thread cutters, whatever you want to call them, that go into the plastic bosses. So I've got, well, I do have one screw pin down here that we can kind of rifle through, I guess. Okay, well, we'll catch you later, Hunter. You taking off? I guess we'll catch you later. Yeah, I think we'll set these aside for the moment. I'll put the mic connector back together. And we'll see how we do here. Okay. So let's do this first and then see where we're at. Okay, so I think I still have the screws that I took out of here last week or whatever the last time I took this apart was up here. We almost lost these because my wife's cat was down here knocking stuff off my bench, but I did find these on the floor. I was able to recover them. So let's put these back together. Now the next project, I don't know if it's in the shot anymore. Let me bring this back. The next project I have over here is this power supply that's sitting here. That belongs to another friend of mine. And I started working on that the other day. He brought it to me. It wasn't working. And usually when those aren't working, it's the pass transistors back here. So we replaced the pass transistors, and there were some bad filter caps. I replaced those. And I fired it up, and the little protection light came on, and it was beeping at me. So something else was still wrong with it. And I turned it back on to try and probe some voltages, and it popped the transistors again before I could get my voltage measurements. So we'll be working on that again. Unfortunately, I have to get another set of transistors for it, but I think the regulator is shot on it too. So let's get this last screw in here. Okay. Now, once again, I guess I could go look for some screws here. I don't have anything close by. Oh, well, I don't have anything in this microphone, do I? That would work. The donor microphone. Nope. Yeah, I guess I'll just go to the parts bin then and see if I can find some of these. You guys are welcome to hang out. I guess I can leave this going. Batteries all seem to be good. No, actually, laptop battery is going, so I think we'll just call it a night here. I'll go find some other screws. We'll put this back together and we'll get it to the rightful owner and get on to the next project there, which is that power supply in the background after I order some parts. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, or thanks for watching if you've tuned in after the fact. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks again. Have a good evening, everyone.